Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome, welcome,
Now
welcome.
tuning into the Allison Denise podcast.
Allison Denise, A-D-A-D, the petite powerhouse, A-D, always 100, you can like it or not, she don't mind pushing buttons, all up in your hot spots, crock pot cooking, damn, and she good looking, hold up, brains and beauty, raising awareness, certified therapist, but much better prepared with it, check her portfolio, it's accredited, like, subscribe, follow, share it. Roll out the red carpet for the queen and welcome to the show. Peace and blessings. Allison Denise, A-D-A-D.
Peace and blessings, y'all. This is dating and relationship coach Allison Denise, and you are tuned into the Allison Denise podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As you know, we are taking relationship questions live. So you are emailing or DMing or inboxing or whatever it is that you want to do. You are sending these relationship questions in, and we are answering 4 to 5 of them live over the hour that we are with you this afternoon. So thank you guys so much, so much, so much for tuning in. If you are interested in answering or asking any questions, please feel free to subscribe and follow us at all of the information listed below. We are on YouTube. We are also on Instagram as well as right here on Facebook. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are also on Twitch. I don't know if there's a way to do a DM on Twitch yet. I'm still playing around. But if you find it, go ahead and send it and the message will come to me, okay? In addition to that, if you guys are interested in doing any type of I get a lot of questions about donations, sponsorships, vendors, all of those good things. So in a little bit, you will see the ticker at the bottom change to where you can go ahead and send those donations. We have an official business Cash App. We have a PayPal. And if you are interested in Zelle, I can give you that information offline. Okay. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. What I'm going to do right now is see how many comments we have, and then we will go ahead and get into our first question. All right. So peace and blessings to those of you tuning in on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I see my cuz Haywood Crombie representing Georgia. Thank you so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. Let me make sure I also get this over to, let me do this really quick. Go ahead and save it to, or share it to my official Allison Denise group. Make sure they are not forgotten. Share the page. I am Allison Denise, and share. Okay, so we are good there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. What's up, Mario? Good to see you, bro. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, Shannon, good to see you. All right, so here's how it goes for those of you who have not tuned in yet. I have 4 questions. I have edited them for grammar. You know me, I want to make sure no one sounds unintelligent just because of autocorrect. So I have edited and also shortened the questions based off the character count that I have on this tool. And we're going to see them. I'm going to read the question twice. You are more than welcome to go ahead and answer the questions along with me. Please put them in comments and I will bring them up and read them live as well. Okay. Let's do a live conversation when you're ready. Yeah, we can talk about it. All right, so let's go into the first question. This is from JG. They said that I could use their initials. They were not quite ready to use their name. So thank you so much for at least letting me use that. And here is her question. My boyfriend keeps asking to add another girl into our sex life. I have always said no. But last night he said this is becoming a non-negotiable for him and he may leave. What should I do? I'll read it one more time. My boyfriend keeps asking to add another girl into our sex life. I have always said no, but last night he said this is becoming a non-negotiable for him and he may leave. What should I do? So I'll see if anybody has their own comments before I say what I want to say. What's up, Trez? Mwah, good to see you. Hey, Monroe. Tea with Monroe podcast. Find her on YouTube. Find her on Instagram. Follow her, and check out her episode. She is amazing. Thank you, Shannon. So we have one comment here. So while the other comments come in, I'm just going to go ahead and answer. So to this young lady, first off, thank you so much for your comment. I do appreciate you taking the time to send a question to our email. To answer your question, however, there really is nothing you can do except leave. And here's the reason why. You two are at a sexual boundary issue. This isn't something as simple as, well, I'm not going to get it. It's 2:00 in the afternoon. I'm not going to give examples. Never mind. Y'all are at a sexual boundary issue. Those are very rarely going to be broken in a productive way. And what I mean by that is, if the tables were turned and you asked this gentleman if you could bring another guy into the relationship, while there may be some men into that, more times than not, when brothers are thinking of threesomes, they're thinking of multiple women, not multiple men. So if you were to keep telling this guy, I want to bring another guy in, I want to bring another guy in, I want to bring another guy in, my guess is that he would vehemently say no. And his reasons, regardless of what they would be his reasons. It would be a firm no. And he may end up leaving you for constantly pushing him to bring another man into the bedroom. So with that same mindset, you have to take the same approach. You got to pull your emotion out. You got to pull how you feel about him. It's obvious that you care about the guy. You may even love him. And this may not be a relationship that you want to end. But sometimes this is where we mess up. When we immediately see that there is something happening at a part of the relationship where we're at our happiest and all that good stuff, when we see that there's a impasse, if you will, we try to find ways around it. Now, I'm not sure how he introduced this to you before. I don't know if he was being kind of casual and it has gradually turned into him being honest now about the fact that this was something he wanted at the beginning, or if this was something that he said he wanted at the beginning and you just kept brushing it off, thinking at some point it would go away. In either case, you are where you are now. And where you are now is he wants to bring in another woman. That is not something that is within your sexual boundary. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. I'm going to say it again. There is nothing wrong with that. You're not required to entertain every sexual fantasy, fetish, or type of pleasure that your partner wants just because they're your partner. The part we also have to be fair about, though, is he's also not wrong to want to explore beyond your boundary. If this is a boundary for you and this is something that you do not want to do, and he has now said this is a non-negotiable, I need you to understand that that is manipulation, whether it was intentional or not. He's now threatening to take something away from you. And he didn't just say, I'm going to leave. He just dangled a possibility out there. He's dangling an ultimatum, thinking that you love him so much that you're willing to give in to this request to keep him. And I need you to understand that if you give in to this request, not only are you not keeping your boundary safe, you may find that you regret doing what you did. And more importantly, you just showed him that he's more important than your boundaries that you set for yourself. And unfortunately, once people realize they can get through one boundary, some people decide to see if they can get through 2 or 3 or 4. And taking the attention off of him for a moment, if you were to give in to this just because you love him, he's telling you that he's got to be more important than you are to yourself. So for me, It's not even about the fact that he wants to bring in another girl. It's not even about the fact that you don't want to do it. What bothers me is him saying this is becoming a non-issue and he may leave. I don't do manipulation of any kind from anybody for any reason. I will absolutely positively call you on your bluff every damn time. So if he is saying he may leave, you asked what I would do. What should I do? If I'm in your shoes, I'm not waiting for him to leave. I'm not waiting for him to cheat and then come back and tell me that he wouldn't have cheated if I had just let him bring another woman in. I'm going to tell him this seems to be a very important part of sex for you. It is not something that I want in my sex life. So I have enjoyed our time together, but I'm peacing out. Now, are you going to cry? Yes. Is it going to hurt? Absolutely. But what you've done is save yourself from more tears and more pain later, because this situation is not going away. And the reason I know it's not going away is because you said you have always said no, which tells me that he has asked you multiple times. He has brought this up multiple times. So now that he has gone into subtle manipulation, the next step is usually going to be outright manipulation and ultimatums. And the next step after that is usually going to be shut down, temper tantrum, whatever, followed by him more than likely cheating. And he may cheat hoping that he gets caught. He may cheat thinking he won't get caught. But in any case, he already has his built-in excuse to throw it back on you. Well, I wouldn't have cheated if you would have just let me have another girl. I wouldn't have cheated if you wouldn't have just, joined in on a threesome with me. He already has his conscience clear. And that's going to keep him from really understanding how much this is going to hurt you if he goes through with it. So before we get into all that, now that he's showing you he's okay manipulating you to get what he wants, this dude has to go. That's my comment. My cousin says, no way with that third lady. I had a friend lose his future wife with that. That's something to think about. She continued with it and he thought it was over with. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, so he brought another woman into the relationship, thought it was a one-time thing, and then she kept sleeping with the woman on the side. Whew. What's up, Aaron? Peace and blessings to you. Trez says it should be an open dialect to find out why it's non-negotiable for him. People have to open to talk. If he is unwilling to talk about his needs versus wants, then the entire relationship should now be questionable. I agree with that. Shannon says, yes, bye. Aaron says, what happened to morality and a monogamous relationship? STDs will destroy you. And see, this is my point. All of us have various sexual boundaries. Some people are just not into bringing other people in sexually because they want a monogamous relationship. Other people, they don't want to deal with it because they know that regardless of how it's glorified or even though we're talking about a new virus or whatever, they know STDs are still out there and they don't want to put themselves in that position. None of these are wrong. And what I'm finding is as we start seeing more people enjoy what I guess they call the lifestyle, and there's nothing wrong with that, but there seems to be some kind of onus that that's the new thing to be. So if you don't want to participate, you'll end up alone. People cheat anyway. People aren't going to pick you. You're old fashioned. You're being a prude. It's like as we have more people more open about their alternative lifestyle, now the people who have what I guess is considered more of a traditional mindset, I use that loosely because I think it's just about preference. Now those people are being seen as, well, there's something wrong with you for not wanting to do what I do. But the minute someone accuses them of being defective in some way, they're defensive. That's not something that we should continue to deal with. Deal with people who have the same mindset as you concerning sex or anything for that matter if you're going to be in a relationship, and leave the people alone who don't have that mindset. They're not wrong. You're not wrong. They're not defective. You're not defective. They don't have issues. You don't have issues. Y'all just see sex a different way. And there are multiple people who see sex the way that you see it. So just go that way. But to try to make someone cross over after telling you repeatedly no, you're now being a bully. That's not cool. Spiritual, yeah, there's that too. Spiritual transmitted disease. That is definitely something to think about too. So I think that winds down the first question. I don't see any more comments, so I'm going to move on to question 2. All right. Question 2 is anonymous from our Twitter DM. Here we go. I want to ask out a girl at my job. My friends say I shouldn't because I'm not looking for anything serious, but I think she'd be okay with us just having fun. What do you think? I'll read it again. I want to ask out a girl at my job. My friends say I shouldn't because I'm not looking for anything serious, but I think she'd be okay with us just having fun. What do you think? So I'm going to tell you a little story. A while ago, I was working at a job, and there was a supervisor internship preparation. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it was for specific people that they would select at this particular job who were not working at a management level yet, but this was a program designed to give them the tools that they needed so that when a management position opened up, they could apply and basically have a leg up. I thought it was pretty cool. So during my years at this particular company, it wasn't something that I wanted to do, but I got to know the people who were in the program very well. Most of the people would end up going through the program. It would take anywhere from, I'd say, 6 months to a year. And after they went through the program, they would, within 6 months to a year, they would end up in an official management role, whether it be manager, director, supervisor. They ended up in some type of management role. But there was one particular person who ended up in the program literally the entire 4 to 5 years that I was with the company. And one of the reasons they ended up in that program is because they couldn't keep their dick in their pants. They were sleeping with everybody. Everybody. And most of the people that this person was sleeping with, they were at the level that he would have been responsible for managing if he got out of the program. So he was seen not only as someone who was irresponsible with his personal life at work, but they saw him as a damn liability. They saw him as a liability, a potential sexual harassment case, a potential everything. And he ended up in this program for years. Now, he did eventually get out, but it wasn't until he cleaned his act up. I share this story to say this to you. There's nothing wrong with anyone who is not in a position where they're ready for anything serious, where you don't want a commitment, where you don't want a relationship. There's nothing wrong with that. And most people will tell you they don't care if someone isn't ready. They care that you pretend you are just because you know that a person you're interested in wants something serious, and you were just so selfish that you decide your desire for that person trumps the honest truth that they've told you about what they're looking for. You're okay lying, you're okay stringing along because in your mind, this is who you want, you feel like you deserve them. Now, that's neither here nor there in your case. But when we talk about your job, what I want you to understand is even if this is the job that is just your in-between, even if this is, whether this is something that's an in-between job, a job that you don't like, or let's say potentially this is a job within the company that you want to work for a long time, or you have a career path set out with this company, I need you to understand that promiscuity has a potential to keep you right where you are for a very long time. People don't have to talk to you to talk about you. People don't even have to know who you are. If your name ends up in wrong conversations and those conversations get to the people who would have the ability to promote you, you've just set yourself up. And it may not matter to you You may be at a mindset of, well, I told her what it was. I told her at the beginning that I wasn't looking for anything serious. But this is what I need my brothers to understand. I don't care how many women you run into who seem to think like you or act like you. In the natural scheme of things, just by the way we are created, we are receivers. We are receivers and you are releasers. We are receivers and you are releasers. She's not just going to, if she's working with you, that means that she is potentially like-minded. If she is working with you, let's just say this is a professional environment. If she's working with you, her mindset could be to have a serious relationship, to move forward with the company. You don't know. You're just coming from the standpoint of, I think she's hot, I want to sleep with her. And your mindset is probably, I'd rather sleep with someone at my job because they have as much to lose as me. And I don't think you understand what happens to women if their feelings get involved and they get scorned. I don't think you understand that she's not going to care that her reputation may be messed up. If she develops feelings for you and you revert back to the, well, I told you what it was at the beginning, and let's say you decide since it was so successful, you want to move on to someone else, and she has to now come to work watching you give the same attention to a new person, you're setting yourself up for drama that your friends already know is coming. And it would be my hope that you would listen with this head, because there are plenty of women at other companies doing other things, preferably not even in your industry, because that's another thing I know. Industry reputation is everything as well. I don't care how cute she is. I don't care how big of a success you feel you are at this particular company. You've got to be smart. You got to be wise about your future, your plans, your career growth, your career potential, and just your paycheck. You've got to be wise. I don't know if you've ever heard this particular phrase before, but I've heard it several times. You don't shit where you eat. That's going to be my advice to you. Don't shit where you eat. Like, really listen to your friends. They know what could potentially happen. Don't be so focused on it being different because it's you, or it being different because you've thought everything out. I don't care what logic you've used. When you turn on a woman's emotions and those emotions start to get involved and they start to be rejected because, as you said, you don't want anything serious. So by default, you're going to reject her if she wants something more. You can't plan for that because you don't know how she's going to respond. Don't set yourself up for that for any reason. Sex ain't worth it, bro. All right, let me see what we have here. What's up, David? Tell BD I said what's up. What's up, Tate? Bad Squad Radio Show in the house. Thank you so much. Mitchell, thank you so much for tuning in. What you have to be careful of and what we tend to ignore when looking at a partner. There are people whose main source is to break another person's boundaries. So this is related to the last question. In other words, it's the hunt. Unfortunately, if she wants to give in, he will move on anyway, unfortunately. And I couldn't agree more. People like him want to see how far they can get a person to go. And I think the same thing. So with this last situation with the guy who wants to bring another girl into the relationship sexually, he's pushing to see if he can get her to say no or to finally say yes. And I agree with Mitchell. At some point, even if this young lady were to give in, he would lose interest. Because for him, it's about the hunt. And right now, most people might be like, yeah, but he's already with her. Yeah, but now he sees that there's another boundary. There's another challenge for him to overcome. So if he can get that girl to lay down with another woman, he's good. But here's what tends to happen. How many people do you know? I'll just say it like this. I know a couple of brothers in my life. They don't talk to me about relationships anymore for obvious reasons. But I have a couple of brothers in, my outer circle who had a tendency in their 20s to sleep with anything that was moving. If the girl said no, she was a prude, she was bitter, she liked women, whatever it was, it made their ego feel better. Well, those two gentlemen are now in their 40s. What do you think they're looking for now? They 40 years old, now they want a virgin. They done slept with Everybody. But now that they're 40 years old, they want somebody that hasn't been touched. So I want you to understand the hypocrisy and the double standards that people can sometimes walk in. So this same gentleman who is pushing for his girlfriend to let him sleep with another woman could potentially be the same person who now looks at her and says, oh, she must have been into women the whole time. That's why she kept saying no, because she just wanted to be with a woman the whole time. So even if she says yes for his benefit, he could still find a way to turn it around on her to justify now leaving. So I agree. That could be man or woman with that mentality. If he truly loved her and he can see the look in her eyes when she says that makes her uncomfortable. Exactly. If he cared about her more than having this need met, he wouldn't have asked past the first time. And I'll even be fair, maybe the second. But to continue to do it and now escalate it to, well, this is a potential non-negotiable, and if you don't give in, I'm going to leave. Like, well, 2 p.m. Allison won't tell you what she would say, but we would not have the conversation again. All right, let's see what else we have here. Peace and blessings, Chandra. Good to see you. Range of braids. Shout out for the kinky twist, ma'am. Jamie, thank you so much for tuning in. He doesn't know what she's okay with. Exactly. That was the other thing. And we're back to the current question with the guy who wants to try to start a sexual relationship, no strings attached relationship with a female coworker. He said he thought she would be okay with it. That is a very arrogant assumption. Now, again, we don't know if he's talked to her. We don't know if he's maybe flirted to get a feel for whether she's into him or not. But brothers, I need you to understand, just because you found one woman who was able to flirt with you, have sex with you, and move on her day, that doesn't mean every woman is going to be okay with that. So if this gentleman is running into that mindset, oh, I've done this before, I've done it at other jobs, and she's giving off the same vibe, her giving off the same vibe, don't have nothing to do with the fact that this is still a different woman. Don't speak for her. Don't assume for her. Like, just don't. Mitchell says, emotions will get involved. She will not be able to stop that. Couldn't agree more. Like, brother, I'm serious. The only way she's going to be okay not becoming emotionally invested in you is if you're trash in bed. And I'm just going to have to put that out here too. In addition to not wanting to shit where you eat, you really don't want to be the brother who's badmouthed sexually at your job. Like, you're looking at this where you're the winner and you're coming out on top and you don't know anything about this woman. And I promise you, we are way more secretive than y'all are. That whole building, if she's the type of woman that doesn't mind blasting men who are trash in bed, that whole building will know within the first 24 hours of you having sex with her, and nobody will come and tell you. You'll never know that they know. I just want you to think it through. Just because she's who you pick doesn't mean that you're going to be the one to knock her down to the point that she's going to be quiet so she can get a little more. You could be trash to her. Just something to think about. Peace and blessings, Crystal. Good to see you, sis. BD said was good. Okay. Hey, Katrina. He will do that. She should run away from him into a therapist. Oh, okay. So you back to the first question too. So you're saying she needs to run away from him and go to a therapist. I actually think that's a good idea. And I think what you're saying is go to the therapist for the breakup, or go to the therapist to determine why she's now letting his manipulation sway her. Let me know which one you're thinking about. Trez says he needs to watch Boomerang and How She Did Eddie. The whole office knew in a few that, man. I didn't even think about that. That is so true. He does need to watch Boomerang. See how that works. And don't think that that's a movie and it ain't going to happen in real life, because most movies are based on real life. So there's somebody who was a Marcus Graham. Just putting that out there. David says, like the Eddie Murphy character, his bad rep got the best of him. And it did. It really did. Mitchell says, Boomerang. Trez, great minds. Yeah, I'm a little concerned that the two of y'all continue to be on the same wavelength. But that's an offline conversation. Katrina says, go to the therapist for the breakup so she won't go back. Yeah, I agree, because it doesn't sound like she wants to leave him, but she also knows this is something she doesn't want to do. And I do think she should leave because of the way he manipulated. So yeah, she probably would. I think that would do her some good, because we always know, we already know how this is going to work. She says no. He may push a few more times. She still says no. He ends up leaving or cheating. They break up. We always know he's going to come back. We know he's going to come back. So get to the therapist's office so that you can shut that door before he tries to open it again, because he will try to open it again. All right, so that's all we have there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Truly appreciate it. Again, this is the Allison Denise podcast. You are watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch Live. We truly appreciate your participation. Thank you to everybody who is engaging with us, giving us your feedback. We truly appreciate you taking the time to listen in today. Don't forget to like and share this video to others that you think may benefit. And as we mentioned before, connect with us on all forms of social media so that you too can ask a question, whether it be anonymously, for someone else, whatever it is. We're taking all questions. We're doing 4 or 5 each week, and we'll see how it goes from there, okay? All right, so Katrina says, I know a case where the female called sexual harassment on the guy. Dude lost his job, his wife, and his kids. I'm trying to tell you, bro, this is not something you want to do at your job. This is not something you want to do at your job. I just hope you listen. I hope you listen. All right, so let's move on to question 3. This one is another anonymous by email. My boyfriend told me when we graduate from high school next year. Oh, high school. I definitely got to watch my mouth. Okay. My boyfriend told me when we graduate from high school next year, he's breaking up with me because he wants to be free to live his life in college. He doesn't understand why I'm hurt. What would you say? I'll read it again. My boyfriend told me when we graduate from high school next year, he's breaking up with me because he wants to be free to live his life in college. He doesn't understand why I'm hurt. What would you say? All right, so there is so much to unpack here. So I'm just going to tell you my answer while the other comments come in. What would I say? I would say to him, why wait? And I'd leave his ass. Here's why. He told you a good 6 to 8 months before graduation. He's putting you on notice that you're going to be dumped because he wants to live his best life when he goes to college. So let me tell you what's already happening. He's either connected to some college women, he's connected to some college men, or both, and they've got his little head gassed up into thinking that he's going to have his pick of women when he goes off to college. And so he feels like he's doing the noble thing by breaking it off with you the summer before y'all graduate, knowing that y'all probably had plans to hang out with each other, to spend the last summer together. Or you may have even thought this could be high school sweetheart situation where we end up together. So this person is trying to tell you, well, you on a 6 to 8 month notice, when we graduate, I'm going to have to let you go because I want to live my best life when I go to college. Let me tell you what's going to happen because of his arrogance. He's going to go off to college and he's either going to find out he's whack. He's going to end up with a reputation of a dude that sucks. He's going to run into some sophomore or junior woman who ends up handing his ass to him, have him running around following her, thinking he's going to do the same thing on the college campus as a freshman. You bottom of the totem pole, but you think you're going to be out here living your best life. Okay. So he's really got himself gassed up into thinking that he's just going to have this plethora of new women to hang out with. Like, just because he runs into a freshman class, like freshman women aren't going to be looking at upperclassmen. Every freshman woman looks at upperclassmen. Does that mean she goes out with them? No, but they are more intriguing than the person who just came in with them. So this brother is about to set himself up to get some serious humility under his belt. And the reason I want you to say, why wait and leave his ass now is for this. He does not deserve to take away the happiness of your senior year. He does not deserve to take away the happiness of the summer before you leave for college. Your whole life is about to change. And this little pipsqueak is trying to tell you that you're on notice. Like you working a damn job and all of a sudden you're just getting a early pink slip. Like you can't move on. Like you can't find someone else. Like you can't be with someone else. You need to leave him alone just based off of his arrogance. The other reason I want you to drop his ass immediately is because this Negro is going to come back. I promise you, he's going to come back. And it won't be because he messed up. It won't be because he feels like he did you wrong. It won't be because of any of those reasons, even though that's what he's going to tell you. Let me just break down in future tense what's going to happen. He's going to go to college. He's not going to get his dick wet. And then he's going to come back to you because he now needs his ego restroked and rebuilt by the woman that he dumped in high school. So he's only going to come back for you to give him the fuel he needs to get back out there. So you let him stay out there with all of the other people that he thought were better than the woman who was in his life right now. He wants to live his best life. The Negro ain't got to wait. He can live his best life today. So that's my answer for him. But here's what I'm going to say to you. You couldn't have prevented this. You couldn't have predicted this. And this has no bearing on your worth, your value, or how happy he is. You were dealing with a dude who is young, dumb, and full of cum, and his common sense hasn't kicked in yet. Do not be his casualty. Do not be his casualty. And don't you dare sit around waiting for his arrogant ass to come back just so he can leave you again. Let me see what other comments we have. Trez says, Chuck deuces and leave him be. This is from another brother, a good brother. I hope you're listening. Shannon says, ouch. And then peace out to this dude too. Absolutely. I agree. Don't wait. Have him move on now. Trez says, tell him he's not that cute anyway. And he smelled like fish sticks before you came into his life. They all come back. This is a brother, sis. I hope, look, they all come back, sis. All. They do. You just have to make sure you ain't there or available. Shannon says, yep. All right, so I hope that helps you. But I do want to say this one more time because you said you were going to make the effort to catch the replay. I need you to hear this. This has nothing to do with you. I don't care what he has said to make himself feel better. This is not about you. Whatever he's saying to you is to soften the blow to his conscience because he knows deep down what he's doing is jacked up. So he's trying to make you feel bad so he feels better. Don't stand for it, and definitely don't sit there another 6 to 8 months for it. If he already know he wants to go, let him go. Why wait? Bye. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my life. I'm going to live my best life right now. I'm not waiting on you. And the thing is, that gives you an emotional head start. You as a woman, even as a young woman, you are going to need the emotional head start. You have got to start getting over him now. I know seeing him in class might hurt. I know seeing him walk through the hall might hurt. If y'all are even in class, hopefully y'all are virtual, but I don't know. I know that that's going to hurt. I know you had a lot of plans for what you thought you were going to do. Maybe you thought you were going to go to prom with him or homecoming or whatever it was. And I am so sorry that he's taken that from you. And I want you to not use that as reasons to stay. You do not want to look back on those photos 20 years from now and realize that you were the girl at 17 or 18 who just took pictures with the guy for the sake of saying that you were in a relationship. This Negro is telling you that he's checked out. I don't care if he still calls you. I don't care if y'all still go on dates. I don't care what he's still doing. He has just told you he's checked out. Follow suit so that when June, July, or August, or whenever graduation happens for you, you are 6 to 8 months ahead of your healing, and you are 6 to 8 months ahead of his arrogant ass. Because I promise you, before homecoming of next year, he gonna be back. Come home for Christmas. I promise you, he's gonna look you up. Because he going to have his ass handed to him freshman year. Guarantee it. Trez says he has an ego. He has an ego and it gives him confidence to belittle someone else. And he's doing this at 18, 17, however the heck old he is. No, ma'am. We're not going to let him do that to you. We're not. Okay? All right. So let's go on to the last question. This is another anonymous email. I want to have sex with a close female friend of mine. We have crazy sexual chemistry. My mother says I'm going to destroy the friendship if I do. I don't want anything serious. Should I? I'm not even going to read this one a second. Well, I'll read it since I said I would. I want to have sex with a close female friend of mine. We have crazy sexual chemistry. My mother says I'm going to destroy the friendship if I do. I don't want anything serious. Should I? Very short answer is hell no. Now, I'll back up. Here's why you shouldn't. My guess, you're saying very close female friend. My guess is that this is a friendship you've had for several years, not someone you just met a couple of weeks ago. My guess is that you have talked about various relationship things. You've seen her go through some breakups. She's seen you go through some breakups. And if your mom is involved, that means that you guys have gotten close enough that you've been around each other's families. This is something that I tell brothers all the time. The best way for you to avoid dealing with women that don't mean you any good is to have one female friend in your circle that you don't try to sleep with and trust what she says. Y'all, we can smell gold digger before the good comes out. I promise you. We see it, we smell it, we know it. Y'all are too busy sometimes looking at the body parts and all of this other stuff, but we can tell you who to avoid. And if you will just listen to us, if you will just listen and not focus on how bad you want to have sex with her or how big her ass is or how juicy her breasts look or whatever, if you will just listen to us, so many of y'all would be spared child support. You'd be spared divorce court. You'd be spared being cheated on if you would just listen to us. It sounds like you have the potential to have a woman in your life that could help you reroute around women who don't mean you any good. And what you're about to do is make a decision with the little head instead of respecting what she's gone through with your big head. If you know you don't want anything serious, why would you take temporary activity to someone that you've developed an almost permanent friendship with? That's dumb. There's no logic for it. I don't care how crazy the sexual chemistry is. You'll find someone else where there's sexual chemistry. And just because there's sexual chemistry doesn't mean that you have to act on it. You think she's cute. She thinks you're cute. Whatever. That's cool. But can you finally make a decision that the friendship is more important? Because here's what you don't understand. Very few women are going to be able to have sex with someone they consider to be a close friend without wanting more. This is why your mother is telling you you're going to destroy the relationship. Because if that woman has gotten to the point that she knows your family, you know her family, they like you, your family likes her, y'all get along great. If you add sex to this equation, 3 things are going to happen. She's going to think you're trash and you're going to think she's good. So now there's going to be an imbalance because she ain't going to want to do it again. Now your ego's going to be involved. Or she's going to be trash. You're going to be good. And now she's going to be running after you and you don't want it. Here's the other thing that could happen. It's good to both of you. You move on your happy way and you say, yeah, I'm good. It was great. It was exactly what I thought it was. And I'm glad that we're going to be able to add this to our friendship. But meanwhile, it's good. She already has an emotional connection to you. She already has a familial connection to you. There ain't no way in the world this sister ain't going to start looking at you as a potential man. And you know how I know? Number 1, because I'm a woman. And number 2, that's how they try to program us until we unplug from the matrix. Every song on the radio, every movie she watches, everything is going to tell her that this is how love happens. This is how love happens. We were friends for so long. And then one day he looked at me and I looked at him and we just knew and we made love. And this is meant to be. Meanwhile, you over with your boy saying, yeah, I fucked her. Yep, we going to still be friends. Ain't nothing going to change. You stupid. If you think that, don't do it. Listen to your mother. Listen to your mother. And if you don't want to listen to her because of your ego, I don't want my mama telling me what to do, then listen to me. Do not do this. You are going to lose one of the biggest allies any man can have. A female friend that you haven't slept with who has your best interests at heart. Don't wait until you need that to understand how valuable that is. Understand how valuable it is now and walk away from those feelings, because you will have sexual chemistry with other people. Don't let that take over what could potentially be one of the biggest blessings that you'll have as a man. All right, let's see. Trez says, oh, no, that was something else. Shannon says, it will change the friendship forever. I never recommend unless you want to marry that person. I agree. I'm a firm believer of that myself. I don't care what kind of sexual chemistry I have with a brother. If he is very important to me, not going to happen unless we have decided that the feelings are mutual and that we are wanting this to move into something together. Now, yeah, at the end of the day, there are no guarantees, and I get that. But you don't start off knowing that you don't want it to go anywhere and expect it to turn out great. So if we're very close, it's only going to be if he says, look, I'm into you and I want to try this. And I say, I'm into you and I want to try this. We're going to try that before we even have sex to begin with anyway. That's how I operate, because my thing is sex changes everything. I can probably kiss you and it'll be okay. But sex, it changes everything, and it's supposed to change everything because it's a sacred energy exchange. It's not just bodily fluids. So no, let's see if there is a connection here, and you don't need to sleep with someone to know that there is a romantic connection. Let that be the icing on the cake, not the damn batter. No pun intended. So I gotta stop. Peace and blessings, Kira. Good to see you, sis. So really think it through. You know you don't want anything serious. This should not even be a conversation. Leave that girl alone, specifically if you have heard her deal with more than 2 bad relationships. Why would you? I'll say it like this. What some men don't understand is when you are very close to a woman who has been hurt in relationships, you are her safe space. You are the one that she can talk to, be herself with, not have to worry about being misled, mistreated, put down. She knows that she's getting you and not a representative. You are her safe space. And as a woman who has a couple of friends like that, you don't understand how much sanity you allow us to have in that friendship with you by not trying to cross the line. You may be her only safe space. You may be the only reason she is still wanting to give love a shot. And I don't care if you tell her from the beginning, I don't want anything serious. I just think we should add this to our friendship. It doesn't matter how you say it. It doesn't matter how you gift wrap it. You have access to her that other men don't. Her defenses are down. Her emotions are connected to you in a safe, healthy way because she doesn't feel like she's got to protect herself. Don't destroy that because your dick gets hard every time she comes around. There are some women that you should just leave alone as a man. There are some women, you know, a lot of men are real quick to say, I know the women that are for right now and the women that are for a lifetime and all this. Okay, fine. So let's go with that. This woman should not be put in right now category, not with the friendship that y'all have built. This should be the woman that you say, of all of the dirt that I may do and all of the times that I may decide that I just want to have sex with someone, I am putting her to the side. She is the exception. I'm not going to mess with her. I'm not going to do dirt with her. I'm not going to just sow my oats and add her to that mix. She's special. She's different. It's okay to have one girl that you don't sleep with. That's going to be the one that has your back. And it'll be easy for her to have your back because she's not going to have old wounds that she's got to heal from first because you didn't understand that she was someone you should have treated differently. All right, let me head over to Facebook, make sure I'm seeing all the comments. Okay, it looks like I am. So perfect. All right, so I think that is all 4. Yep, that is all 4 questions. And I still got 8 minutes to spare. Look at that. So, y'all, I thank you so much for tuning in. Those are the 4 questions we had. Again, we are on Facebook under Allison Denise, as well as the official I Am Allison Denise page. We are under Instagram under I Am Allison Denise, as well as the Allison Denise podcast, 2 separate pages. We are under Twitter under A_D_podcast. We are also on Twitch under the same moniker. Send your questions. Email them at the adpodcast2020@gmail.com. You can email them. You can inbox them anywhere that you are connected with us. Tell us if you want to be anonymous. Tell us if you don't mind using your name. We will never share photos. And just ask your questions, because this is designed to help one question at a time. Some of you may want therapy. Some of you may have a question and you're just like, yeah, but the people that I want to ask, they want to charge money and I don't have the money. That's fine. I'll give you 20 minutes to answer the question. All right. Now, I am a dating and relationship coach, so I do want to remind you guys that I am available for more intense one-on-one group or couples coaching. Please feel free to go to our official website, AllisonDenise.com. Click on Book Allison, and feel free to go ahead and book your session with me today. All right? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. Let me check any additional comments. Peace and blessings. Jason, thank you so much, hometown. Trez says, well done. Love your content. Thank you so much. I appreciate you too. Until next week, I love you guys. Take care. Don't forget to like and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to all of our channels, specifically YouTube. We're wanting to get up to 1,000, so help us do that on both platforms. But I'll be back next Wednesday. Next Tuesday, I'll be traveling. So Allison Denise podcast will be next Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to it. Love you guys. Peace.